not, yeah, tie rod ends, upper control arms, and lower ball joints. It's going to be really fun on a 2002 Jeep Liberty. And some of the bolts are in the engine housing to get those upper control arms off, so it's not going to be a picnic. But stay tuned, because you're going to see some serious stuff. Now, what we have to do is up here, there is a control arm bolt for the upper control arm, if you can see that right there. And then back here, if you come up over the reservoir a little bit, right down there, you can see the other bolts. Now, over here on the driver's side, it's a lot more complicated. You see the front is easy accessible. See, like right here is a perspective from the front of the engine. You just look to the right, and right there is the first bolt. Now the second bolt isn't quite as easy to get to. You see where the steering column is, and you see these lines right here. It's right behind it, so I have to move this out of the way. There's a lot of people who will take the battery out and just disassemble everything, but what I'm going to do is use a lot of extensions to get to these. But I only suspect that the one over here on this side will be a problem. These other ones, like here, and the one here and here, they shouldn't be that bad of a problem. I say that now. What we're doing today, we're changing out upper control arms on a 2002 Jeep Liberty. I'm not a mechanic. I guess they would call it a shade tree mechanic. Right there's a shade tree. But anyway, the ball joint fell through the lower control arm, which of course made it drag on the ground, and then had to get it towed home. So we got some parts from eBay from Detroit Axle over there in the box, and while I'm in here, I'm going to change right here is the upper control arm. I'm going to be changing tie rod ends. I'm going to be changing, of course, the ball joints. You can't really see it because it's under here, and it kind of fell out. If you can you see that underneath there? This is the lower control arm. This is the ball joint that pulled out of the wheel knuckle, and I'm getting ready to take this wheel knuckle off. And I've got the brake, the caliper, I've got it situated back here with a zip cord line, and figured I was take a break right this second because I need some PB blaster, because some of these bolts have been rusted for quite a long time. This is a 2002 Jeep Liberty 3.7 liter engine, and it's a little different than what I'm used to working on. I thought I was going to have to screw off an axle bolt, and as you can see, there is no axle bolt on the front of the Jeep Liberty. It kind of has the axles kind of up another way. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of cool, really. But I'm saying "but" too much. We're going to get this all changed out, and I can't go any farther, really. I've got this, see, loose right here, but I need to get the tie rod end arm loose, and I don't have any power tools, air tools or anything like that. I just have my arms, ratchets and sockets and wrenches. So I've got to do it It's the grunt way. But anyways, that's the update as of now. And extreme situations call for extreme measures. This right here is a deep well socket, 21 millimeter. This right here is a steel pipe that I'm going to use as a breaker bar. It's going to give me more torque onto this bolt. It's moving. Yeah. And that's how you break the really tough bolts. Okay. All right, what we have here is Thor's mighty hammer. Not really. Anyways, let's take a look over here. What's going on? If you look in here, I've got the tie rod end off. I've got the wheel knuckle, the wheel hub off of the upper control arm. This is the upper control arm. And I wanted you guys to see this, because this is not supposed to do this. This is the lower right passenger control arm. And this right here is the lower ball joint. It pulled through under the wheel knuckle, which I now have off. It's right here, this baby right here. See on the back is the top of that ball joint. And if you look underneath, right there, that is where the ball joint used to sit. And what happened was, pretend this is a wheel on it, was going down the road, and then all of a sudden, boom, onto the ground. This pulls out, the control arm hits the ground, and we have to be towed home. So that is off now, and we'll have to take, I'll have to press in the new ball joints, and we're going to replace the tie rod end, upper control arm, lower ball joints. That's it for now. Right, where we last left off, I have, if you look there, I have the inner tie rod changed out. I have a new outer tie rod. It has a grease fitting that I installed, that came with it. I got the ball joint off of the lower control arm with a hammer. Now I've got one of the bolts out of the upper control arm, and in this particular vehicle it is a pain. And in fact, to reach back in the engine, I had to do this. That's what I'm trying. Woo! That right there is the Dirty Harry of extensions. It's going to go under by the wheel well, farther back, and onto that last 18 millimeter bolt, and I'm going to take it off. You betcha. Okay, now what I've got is, let me get Dirty Harry out of here, because it worked. Come on out there. Ooh, Dirty Harry broke in half. But hold on, I'll be right back with you guys. Now, there's Dirty Harry. Anyways, I use this to get the prize. Eyes on the prize. This right here is the upper control arm. This isn't supposed to move, but look, it's like I'm playing like Pac-Man or something. Looks like left, left, right. Okay, you guys get the point. It's broke, and I'm gonna replace it. Well, everyone, this is day 2 on the project. As you can see, yesterday I've got the upper control arm replaced. I've got the inner and outer tie rod end replaced. I got the old ball joint off of the lower control arm. There's the brake caliper. I've got it there hanging out of the way. here's the wheel hub. And what I end up doing was taking the wheel hub to a shop where they pressed in the new ball joint. You can actually rent tools at AutoZone and O'Reilly's, but what happened is everybody had rented those out, so I went ahead and had them do it because they didn't charge really all that much. But right there is the new ball joint. Costs about I think $20, so which is not bad, and I'm pretty patient. And they done it though in about a half hour or less. They didn't have a lot of work in front of them, so I'm gonna get busy now and put this back together. Okay, now we have the one side done and back together, but a lot of times when you replace something important like the ball joints, upper control arms, you know, things of that nature, you'll want to do it at least in groups of two. Like if you're going to do the front end, you want to do it on both sides, and that's what this is. This is the driver's side, which on this particular model Jeep, this is a 2002 Jeep Liberty 3.7 liter engine. You go ahead and you take off that upper control arm like I did on the passenger side, but it is a little harder to get to, especially that back bolt. So it will take you a little longer time. As you can see, I already have the upper control arm in and it's in place. I have the tie rod ends on both ends. You'll see the inner tie rod end is covered with that boot, and the outer tie rod end is right here. And I counted how many threads down that I put the bolt, but it may be a little bit off when I get everything back together. So what I recommend is when you do front end work like this, is to go ahead and take it to your local shop if you don't know how to align it perfect, and just get it like a front end alignment done, and that way it won't wear out your tires. It's just a good thing to do. Also, pretty sure, you know, since I'm just a shade tree mechanic, I'm not really for sure what this is, the technical name for this is, but if you guys know, you can put it in the comments below. I call it kind of like a sway bar mount. I replaced those on both sides. And of course, here is the other ball joint in that in the wheel knuckle, and I'm getting ready to put it all back on here, and the next time I'm rolling on the video, we should be all done and good to go. And this is what the finished product looks like when you get done. It's well worth it. Let's do a 360. And the Jeep is all back together. It stands on its own 4 tires again. Thank you for tuning in to my video, and of course, if you like what you've seen, subscribe. If you have any questions about the Jeep or anything I did, just ask. Thank you for tuning in.